Kia ora Tauranga, Caleb Hall here, running for Tauranga City Council at large, and decided to throw my hat in the ring this year after living in the Bay now for over 4 years and being involved in professional sports here and business, and just listening to a couple of businessmen talk about the role of local council and how that impacts our businesses, and individuals venting some frustration, and I decided, well, I could either sit here and be part of the problem, or I could be part of the solution. So that's why I've run for Tauranga City Council 2019. Admittedly, it's hard for me to bring it down to 6 years. My vision for Tauranga City extends intergenerationally, and I really truly believe if we're going to hit anything in the next 6 years, we need to have a view wider and longer than that, and I really want to see the prosperity of our city intergenerationally, interracially, but I think there's some key things that what we can do and achieve in the next 3 to 6 years which will impact that. I believe there's some key issues that we need to look at, but beyond the issues themselves, I think the governance model and the way that the council functions and interacts with the community is imperative to reach those. As far as my experience is concerned, I feel like I've been able to pack in a lot in the short amount of times I've been around the sun. I started quite young in my involvement with youth and social work, and have quite extensive experience dealing with young people, children, youth and family. I transitioned from there into the professional sport environment, where I understood how to perform and compete at a very high level amongst a team, understood about team psychology and working with others, and then through injury-induced retirement, I've then thrown my weight into the business sphere, and been on a number of different boards in the business sphere, and understood how to relate to not only other board members but staff, CEOs, managers, and how to be able to get vision and then not only create vision but have the strategy to implement that vision. So where we see issues around housing, transport, when we see issues around climate change, these types of things, I feel as though I'm going to bring a fresh perspective as well as probably experience beyond my years in that respect. As far as personal values are concerned, it's something that I've spent a lot of time over the last 12-24 months distilling, and ones that I see as, if adhered to, I think lend itself towards prosperity in any organisation. In no particular order, I believe the value of humility is really important, being able to recognise that other people around the table have points of view that may add something to my own point of view, and being able to listen to them. The value of integrity and holding to your personal truth, regardless of how forceful someone else may be, that to have a backbone and stand up straight. I had to do it many times on the rugby field to work through collisions, and I think it really built an area of strength in me. The value of, some may say, love or consideration of others. I think for me it's a fundamental one, where I've got to lay down my own agendas for the benefit of the larger group. The value of freedom, it's something that's really, really important to me. You can either have freedom or control, and the ability to let other people choose and live by their choices is fundamental. And what brings that all together for me is the value of unity. It's something that I suppose it's best put that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. And if we work together, intergenerationally, interracially, through different perspectives, I really think we're going to get closer to a holistic answer than if we just go about it by ourselves. Being involved in numerous businesses over the years, I've had to expose myself to huge amounts of documents and become very familiar with profit and loss statements, understand the economics of a project, both projecting economics and then reviewing. So I feel as though I'm positioned well to be able to take what the role of a councillor would have and to do it at a high level. I suppose to answer that question, you'd first maybe talk to my parents. Ever since out of the womb, it seemed I've been debating and trying to win debates. Certainly through high school and my education, I was always part of debating teams and really enjoyed playing the devil's advocate. I genuinely believe any statement that someone has, you only really know the validity of it by seeing the other point of view, the other side of it, and one's own position is either going to be strengthened or it's going to be widened. And you can take on a new view. And so I'm very much into the whole concept of discussion, into the concept of being able to have different points of view put to the table and really let truth be self-evident. So with all that being said, I tend to be someone who holds strong convictions, and I'll make my stance quite clearly, but also very much willing to listen to other points of view and really add that to my own. In some senses, I feel I've got a unique perspective in the fact that I've just recently stepped down from a position of CEO of our collection of businesses, partly at least to run for City Council amongst other things. So I can see it from the position of a CEO as well as a board member, understanding the clarity that's needed between the groups around of executing vision and being able to basically implement the strategy. So from a board member as well as a former CEO, I think I'll be able to bring something of experience to the table in those areas. Well, I'll use the analogy like we have in central government with the police. It's one thing to create the legislation, it's another thing to enforce it and to apply it. And so I see that relationship being absolutely key. You can have all of the right information collected at the council level, but if it's not implemented properly, then it's really going to go amiss. So I believe the relationship between the CEO, the council staff and the councillors is imperative, that communication and feedback loops are adhered to, that there's a level of accountability that both parties have, so that we can really see the best for the future of our city approached and maintained.